you know, we all get it.
No, you got me pull my phone out like, hold on one second. Let me check real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. But yeah, so.
That's what's up.
Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови
Pimped Out Radio Show, man, they everywhere.
Благослови моих братьев. Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благослови моих братьев. Благослови моих братьев. Я скрутил себе потолще, я выдыхаю
The best jam I have ever eaten.
Oh, wow.
I have that as a testimonial.
И не играй со мной свою роль. Со мной молодые братья. Мы возьмем котлеты наличных себе на завтрак. Сегодня-завтра, неважно как я. You, эй, yeah. Благослови моих братьев, благослови наши руки, мы в поисках.
All right, y'all, we tuned in for another episode of Bank That Radio Show. I'm your host, and to my right, to y'all's left, we have Safari Radio Bay. Been a long time coming.
A long time coming.
A long time coming.
You know, I come with my own, you know what I'm saying, sound effects and soundtracks. So yeah, so. What's up? It's been a long time coming. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming through. So let's get into it. Like, when did you really, I guess, first start in radio and being a personality and all that?
Oh, well, you know, I went to college for communications, so that's where it started. My love for radio was actually like from childhood. You know, I could just remember the first time I actually was listening to a radio show, heard a personality, and I was like, if I can figure out how to get in there, that would be lit. You know, not knowing that I would end up being a radio personality. So I went to school for communications.
Where'd you go to school at?
I went to school in Alabama.
Okay.
Roll Tide. Shouts out to Lawson State. I went there for communications. I ended up getting an internship with the radio station there, the hip hop station.
Okay. And
it was interesting. Times were a little bit different then. So I kind of wasn't prepared. I didn't think I was prepared. So I ended up going to cosmetology school, going through that whole thing, taking my state board, became a hairstylist, but something always just brought me back to
radio
entertainment. Yeah. Something's always.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like I try to leave music alone, where it keeps calling me.
It does that.
It does. Yeah, it's like this itch I can't.
It's that first love.
Yeah,
it's that first love.
I have to do something with music. Oh, and I'm also changing the format of my interviews too.
Okay.
So at some particular point, I'm like, hey, we can take a commercial break, and then I'm going to insert people music.
Okay, now that's what's up.
Yeah, I was like, I've been meaning to do it, whatever. So I was like, why not do it with yours?
Okay, so, we can definitely do that. You know whose video or music is gonna throw to?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'll put it in there.
All right, well,
on the edit side, it'll be fine.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. So yeah,
You gonna do the work for me?
Of course not. I came here to chill. I came here for leisure time. I mean,
I didn't come here to work.
In some kind of way, though, I end up working. It's one of those things. It's, you know what I'm saying, I end up, building some type of business relationship, just doing something. So we'll see. But this is your project. So, let's see what you got first, and then I might be able to add my je ne sais quoi.
Okay. So tell us about, how is it being a radio personality, putting your face out there, having your image and everything put out there, and, all the the ups and downs that comes with it, because I don't think people really understand that.
They don't. I didn't understand it either, and I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, day by day, different, lessons and things like that. But I enjoy it. I enjoy being in radio. I enjoy being a female in radio. It's a lot of perks. You know what I'm saying, to that too, because it's some things that not automatically given to you. But for instance, when you have businesses or entrepreneurs geared towards women, the guys are more prone to like, yeah, let her do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't want to be at the beauty supply store. You know, so, it has its perks, and I've made a lot of great connections, you know, a lot of networking connections, like even with you, you know, like, because I've been on air now for 7 years. My radioversary is coming up. Yeah, my radioversary is coming up. I'm excited about that, but you know, I still got a long ways to go, you know, because I looked up to, or still do, you know, Wendy Williams, of course, you know, Angie Martinez.
Yeah. But her podcast took off. It was like phenomenal.
Oh yeah, in real life, definitely. And you know, just it's radio's forever changing. Communication, you know what I'm saying. Broadcasting's forever changing. So I like to morph. I'm a chameleon like that. So I'm just been enjoying the ride. I've been enjoying the ride.
Well, okay. So when did you first like learn about me?
Actually, probably through Super Dave. Like a lot of people in Macon, you know, that's my big brother, my mentor. So I met a lot of people through him, you know what I'm saying, as far as just like who's who in the city, you know what I'm saying, who's into the restaurants, who's into, you know, of course, what we're into, entertainment, social media. That's one thing. And then I had seen, you know, your advertisement for, you know, the cook shop. So I thought that was a great idea, because I'm all for medical, you know, medicinal marijuana. Could we say weed?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, so saying that, I instantly was like, oh, like that's great. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't always about, you know, just getting high. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciated that, and that's really how the first time I'd heard about you. Then I guess you obviously started doing Banked Out Radio, and then I had, you know what I'm saying, put the two and two together, because I'm not the best with faces and names, but whenever I do put two and two together, it's like, oh, okay, okay,
makes
that's
sense
what's
now,
up. Yeah, it makes sense.
I remember an incident where, not an incident, but like an occasion where I bumped into you. And there's some, you know, Super Day does, you know, mixtape Mondays and stuff over at Spark. And I walked in, and I was, I think I was talking to LJ and a few others or whatever, going through there, and I came over to introduce myself to you. And you was like, oh, I know who you are. I was like, okay, well, thank you. I guess my hard work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it pays off, you know what I'm saying?
Pays off.
And then at that time, you know, we really was, I was honing in on social media at that point, because before, I wasn't really a big social media person. I'm an extrovert with an introverted lifestyle, you know, so I wasn't, you know, like when I go back and look at old tweets and stuff, I'm like, what was I talking about? Like, you know, I got only a couple likes, 'cause I'm just talking about just random stuff, like, you know, like my dog, stuff like that, whatever. But once I started honing in on social media and definitely seeing where people are at, because now you can tag people and places, locations, and when you get like a repetitive and you see it all the time, it's like, oh, okay, that's who's okay. So it just, you know, it makes sense. So yeah.
So what has been the most rewarding experience you've had thus far, if there is one, or you could just name, you know, somewhere in the ballpark?
Most rewarding experience, it would have to be, you know, having my own show on the air. That was a huge, you know what I'm saying, responsibility, just being able to, you know, connect with the people, you know, that was huge. That was one example. Hosting gigs. Now I'm hosting and DJing. So it's a what do you say? It's one of those like pay it forward. No, not pay it forward, but you know what I'm saying. Like it gives back. It's a forever giving. You know what I'm saying? Like business and what I'm in. Yeah. Because when I first started, I was a board operator, which that meant I was not speaking. I was not interested in speaking. I was like, you know, I'm cool. Just now I'm a producer, you know, operating a show, and they made big bucks. So shout out to my board operators. But I was doing that, and then I ended up reading a commercial spot, and next thing I knew, people were repeating it to me. Like I had a couple of them, but I did one for a car spot in Byron, and it took off. And so my program director at the time, Lil G, was like, well, him and Soup was like, you should be on the air, like whatever you ever thought about being on radio, and I'm like, no, because that was one of the things I wasn't ready for when I was an intern, you know what I'm saying, in Birmingham, because, you know, it's a lot, you know what I'm saying, to come up with, you know, topics, content, to be not, you know, to be, you know, kiltered and, you know what I'm saying, but not be too extra, and it was so much. I was like, oh, I'd rather just
don't have no dead space either.
Of course, no dead air. Like that right there was enough for me. And timing is everything. You know, show starts at 10 o'clock. You need to be on at 10. You know what I'm saying? Like not 9:29, not, you know, 10:20, when you know, you got to be on time. So I learned a lot of other skills with radio that I've implemented now in my regular life. Like timing is everything to me now. So when someone says like, oh, it's at 7 o'clock, I'm expecting us to be on and ready at 7 o'clock, not 7:30, not 8 o'clock, not whenever you get here. Like I'm expecting bells on, wheels on, let's go. So and you know, that works for me most of the time, you know. But I've learned so many different things. But yeah, I was a board operator, so I was just doing commercials and, you know, remotes and stuff. And then from there it was like, you know, you should be on the air. I'm like, I don't know. And I can put this out there now, you know, but I would sneak and be on the air at midnight. At the randomest times, I would sneak on air and, you know, just, you know, because nobody's listening.
You can't say that.
That's the cliche thing. But, you know, because people say, I listen to radio. So I'm like, okay, well, since y'all ain't nobody's listening, let me just hit the button and, you know.
Yeah, see, you know, get your chops going.
Had to get my chops going. But I used to board op, and then just more opportunities presented themselves. You know what I'm saying? Be on air from a Saturday show to Saturday and Sunday. Then when jocks during the weekday would be out, it's like, hey, you want to fill in? And I'm like, what, 7 o'clock on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? Psh, have a safe trip. So it's you know what I'm saying, it's fulfilling. It was dope then. It's doper now, because you know, I've hosted some festivals, big concerts. I'm DJing. So yeah, it's dope.
Okay, so outside of those things, what are you doing as well? 'Cause, I want to say that, you know, have you explored at least the possibility of, like, you know, your own podcast and stuff like that? Something that you can control?
Actually, I have. Podcasting is tricky. Podcasting is very tricky. I mean, because, you know, it's solely me. You know what I'm saying? It'll be my content, my thoughts, my opinion, and that it's one thing, you know, when I'm on the air, because some of it is kind of given to me. It's a buffet of things. It's like, okay, this is what's going on in the city, and whoop de whoop de whoop, and in entertainment. So pick something out of this to, you know, talk about. But with a podcast, you know, last thing I want is just, I don't know. So I'm working on it, and then just what format I want to do, because I really want to be a little bit more transparent, because, you know, I got a wild story to tell. I can't wait till my book and my movie comes out, but I got a wild story to tell, and I want to be relatable to people. And I feel like sometimes with the music that is played on the station that I'm on, it conflicts with who I am sometimes as an individual, you know. So I'm thinking about you know, that's why I think that's a great idea. You inserting, you know, music and, you know what I'm saying, helping other people get their artistry and more exposure out there. Because I want to work with, you know, independent artists. I just find that more fun, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, once an artist reaches a certain level, you know, you got to go through someone to get in contact with up and coming artists that are independent, and some even sign. They are in their DMs, they're reading the comments, they're reaching out to people like me and you know, to have more exposure. Hey, I seen your show, I want to be on it, versus, you know, us reaching out to them. So I'm working on what kind of platform.
With that being said, here is a new song by independent artist submitted to us.
You're my sweet thing, baby. Your love, it drives me crazy, yeah. Something about you, lady, yeah. Won't you be my lady? You're my sweet thing, baby. Your love, it drives me crazy, yeah. Something about you, lady, yeah. Won't you be my lady? It's something about you, girl. I'm so glad I your girl. You remind me of everything I ever wanted, everything I ever needed. Your smile, so beautiful, that is so fat. I love the way you sit in them jeans.
All right, so do people really understand that, you know, there's a difference between as far as person and as far as radio personality?
No. Because truth be told, I am now being able to finally make that disconnect.
Okay.
Because, you know, sometimes we don't want to be on. So I say that Safari is me. I am Safari at all times. You know,
Yeah.
I try to, you know, stay true to that. But there are moments where sometimes Safari can be quiet. There are times where Safari might, you know, have a tune. There might be times where Safari may, you know, be emotional. And I think that people don't see that often because they're used to hearing the chipperness in my voice. They're usually seeing me turning up, twerking, you know, dancing and having a good time. So when I'm not doing that, it's like, are you okay? It's like, oh, you know, or sorry, I gotta ask you. So I'm working on now being able to just separate my emotional self from my professional entertainment self. You know what I'm saying? Because there are times when I am like, I'm kicking stuff over in my head. But at the same time, it's like, hey, it's like, you know, what you said your name was? Happy birthday. But in my mind, I'm like, you know, so it's an interesting battle war, I guess I would say, you know. Yeah, because there's days where Safari doesn't want to do anything, but I have to. You know what I'm saying?
We all got obligations and, you know, stuff we got to do, especially keep these bills paid.
I mean, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Can't be living on the street.
Kid that. Have you gotten to the point to where people attach themselves to you to validate themselves? Or try to at least, you know, like ride the coattails type of situation?
I would hope nobody has. You know, that's another thing that's tricky. You know what I'm saying? Because who I am a very open, you know what I'm saying, person. Like, but then on the back end, I'm like, they try to play me. You know what I'm saying? They try to, you know, saying. So I have to be careful with that. That's why now one thing I could say that isn't my favorite part about being a radio personality or in social media is, you know, people having that access to you or thinking they have that access to you. Like FaceTiming you because your friend's on Facebook, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, dang, did I make a mistake by adding somebody, you know? And you want to be able to give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But there's some people who will try to take advantage or try to attach themselves, you know, to me, but I mean, I don't think so. I can't think off the top of my head.
You know, we all get it.
No, you got me pull my phone out like, hold on one second, let me check real quick just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. But yeah, so
That's what's up. Okay, so your image, right, and what you present. Do you feel you're able to, you know, control that, or do you feel that, you know, in the nature of, you know, like you being a woman, being on radio and stuff like that, do you feel that you have to present a certain type of image?
Yes. Yes. And that's only because, you know, I did not realize the impact fully that younger women have when they see me. You know, because now I'm, you know, getting mature. And so I can remember women that were influential to me when I would see them when I was younger, and I'd be like, oh man. So when I see little girls, when I'm out, just kids, in general teens, even some older women, they're like, you know, you doing it. Like, that's boss, you know. So for me, that is like, you know, it's a major responsibility, and I had to realize that, you know, in subtle ways I could still be myself, but I don't have to be as, I guess, crad or, you know, crude about it, you know what I'm saying? So I could still have my opinion, but instead of saying, you know, F the police. You know, I'd have to, you know, put it in another context of, you know, where I stand, but make sure it is, you know, well thought out what I'm saying, you know, understandable, and not so much my opinion, but more so not ask, you know, what's your opinion? Like, hey, this is what's going on, but what do you think? You know, so it that was one of the last things I kind of learned in radio, because, you know, I am a not rebellious type spirit, but I am, you know what I'm saying, I kind of got, you know, walks to the beat of my own drum, you know what I'm saying, I do my own thing, very independent already, and so all of the jobs that I've had, I've always been my own boss. Even, you know, with being a cosmetologist, I mean, I paid booth rent and worked at a shop, but I still made, you know, I'm still me. And even when I was in entertainment, like doing background dancing and, you know, just all those, you know, cast and call stuff like that, I've always just been my own point of contact. And I didn't realize until, you know, when you're a part, because radio is corporate, you know what I'm saying? It's very much corporate. So I had to learn to be careful, because some things that I would do, it's like someone would, you know, hey, seen your post, and I'm like, damn, like, how you even get on my Facebook? Like, but you could Google me, like, it's out there, you know. So I definitely learned that gotta be responsible with what I post, what I wear, everything, because there's always someone watching. If they're not listening, there's always someone watching.
That reminds me of a story, that incident I had with Mama D. And it was when she first started radio.
Shout out to Mama D, Royal Dynasty.
She said something about mental health or whatever, and it was about some story. It was like a few years back, and something happened in Florida or whatever. It was a news story being reported or whatever, and the way that she worded it or whatever was a little bit, you know, irresponsible to say. And with me, you know, having a counseling business and not being a therapist, but having access to that, and seeing clients come in and stuff like that, I posted or whatever. And when I met her, it was hilarious. She held on that for like 2 years. She's like, I was on the internet looking for you, and I thought you was a girl and everything.
You sound just like D.
It was hilarious. And then we did the interview as well, and she's like, okay, Cook, don't be sitting there bringing up stuff now. And it was hilarious though, because we had a meeting at the Tubman, because there was mutual parties involved where we all were sitting at the table. And she's like, yeah, I was looking for you and everything. Then come to find out you a male and all that stuff. But she said she learned from that experience though, because her program manager, they saw it. Yeah. Whatever, because people was like watching and everything.
Yeah, we go viral real quick for some reason.
And they were telling them like, hey, you know, you got to just be careful how you word certain stuff.
Exactly. And even in our responses, you know, sometimes, you know, we can't even give a response, because it's like it'll either make the pot hotter or it'll have cause a bunch of other people to chime in, and it's like, you know, so I try to just stay middle of the road with the stuff that I post, you know, and then everybody has a, you know, burner account, so if I really do want to fire off, I got my own little side Twitter that I can go in on, and no one else is me.
yeah, I'm like, you have to, you know what I'm saying, because we're all human, and we all, you know what I'm saying, we experience life the same way and things of that nature, and we all have our opinions, and we all want our opinions to be validated and stuff like that or whatever. So like, where do you see yourself, you know, going, and, you know, what's your you know what I'm saying, trajectory, you know what I'm saying, that you've been putting out there?
You know, it changes. To still be in entertainment, that's first and foremost. You know, in the beginning, you know, I went from, like I said, board op, didn't want to be on the air, to all the amazing opportunities and things that I've done. Program director is now something that I'm interested in, you know, being able to actually have a say on programming and how it sounds on the air. You know, those are things that have become just as important to me, because, you know, like you said, no dead air and all of those things. Like, you really got to be on top of it. And now I'm so meticulous of those things, I feel like I would make a great program director. I see myself even being in a position to own a radio station, you know, or even a podcast studio or space, and educating up and coming, you know, radio broadcasters or producers, you know, board op, you know, just, you know, passing the torch, teaching what was taught to me, you know, because it's something that I don't take for granted, you know, the fact that I, you know, have good articulation and I can read.
You just say you can't read.
I'm just saying that's part of it. Some people don't know. They think that talking is the big thing. Like you gotta know how to talk. No, you gotta know how to read first, okay? So that and like I said, timing. Just a couple of things that I've learned, and I would love to be able to, you know, for the next generation, because there's a lady here in Macon. That's one thing I love about Macon. It's so historic. You know, rest in peace to 03. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only that, just Little Richard. I got a chance to see his biography. The I Am Everything. Like, I love Macon. You know what I'm saying? I feel like very much adopted from here. And so, oh, damn, I lost my train of thought.
You was talking about the movie that, you know, that just released or whatever, and then, you know.
But yeah, Macon. That's what I was getting to. My bad.
Macon, yeah.
My bad, y'all. What I was getting to was there's a lady here who she was the first black radio personality on WIBB, and this was back when she was like, I think 14, 15. I can't think of her name. I'll find it. She's an emailer. She doesn't like to text and stuff. She's back day. So I gotta find her email and get her name. But she had a party on the radio, like a teen party on the radio, where kids would listen and she would play records and all of that. And when I actually met her and she was sharing her story with me, I was like, oh my goodness. I met a couple of women who've been in radio, you know, at some point, and that's where it's at. That's where I see myself in the future, being her, telling people, like, you know, back, I used to be live and lit back in the day, baby.
That's what's up. I like the fact that you've had those experiences too, and you get to, you know, really, you know, hone in on those stories and stuff, because I think stuff like that needs to be archived and documented and put out there, so therefore everybody can understand, you know, where stuff started to how it got to where it is, and the strides that were made along the way, and who actually, you know, were influential with it.
That's something that I wanted to kind of do, a project that I was thinking about, because, you know, 1879, shout out to Pleasant Hill, but, you know, there's radio personality from out of Pleasant Hill, like, and then WIBB has been, you know, around for so long, you know, James Brown, Little Richard, Otis Redding, everybody had their, you know, music played, and, you know, now the other stations that are here, you know, I've always been so invested in radio. Like, I love it. Like, when Beyonce came out with Radio, that was my song. And Brown Sugar is my favorite movie because she talks about hip hop, and how she talks about it is exactly how I feel. Like, you know, I can remember the first time I heard a rap song, an explicit rap song. But then also, I love, you know, Z93.7. That's one of my other goals. I would love to be on top 40s, you know, female Ryan Seacrest.
That's what's up.
Type deal with a little, you know, splash of Wendy.
Okay, so how do okay, so you do, you know what I'm saying, you get booked for radio to do the events and stuff, but how does it work with the outside, like, booking you? Because I'm like, now you have a name and stuff like that, right? And it's not connected to just the radio station. True.
If you want to book me for events, I do a lot of different events. I've done, like I said, festivals, concerts, reunions, weddings, graduation parties, live remotes, you know, and that's just me, you know, pulling up, because I'm a DJ, you know, as well. So I got a whole system that I pull up and I, you know, get it bumping. So, I mean, you can just reach out to me on my social media. On Instagram, it's at Radio Bay Safari, and that's on, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And then it's official Radio Bay on TikTok, and on YouTube, Radio Bay Safari. So, yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, do your girl a favor. Hit the thumbs up for more live and lit content. So that's what I got going on.
That's your tag phrase now.
Oh, yeah.
Live and lit content.
You know, got to. I'm always live and lit. You know, live and lit from 10 to 2, live and lit, you know, here. But yeah, live and lit content. You know, like a lot of things, they kind of come to us in our subconscious, in our sleep, or just how things, you know, just like you said, roll off the tip of the tongue, how it sounds. And live and lit just, you know, is my thing, because, you know, being up at 8 o'clock in the morning to get ready to be in pocket at 10 o'clock, cracking the mic, just as excited to wake everybody up. Yeah, I had to be live and lit. had to be live and
That's
lit.
what's up. So did we miss anything? Or
I don't think so. I think we hit everything. I think we hit everything. I had fun.
well, you know, you're supposed to.
I know, but even-
I've been doing this a long time. You know?
I know, but you made me feel so comfortable because even usually I'm in your seat.
Y'all don't get the opportunity to, be in the other seat,
Yeah,
which that's,
usually,
that's why I like doing this because
I
it makes, a lot of good interviews. So y'all make sure y'all go and follow Safari, book her, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That I've seen her in action and everything. So
Yeah, y'all book me. Follow me on my lives. I try to put content out there as often. So especially when the pandemic came, everything was virtual. That's why I really hyped up putting everything on social media because we couldn't go nowhere. So.
Yeah. And if y'all have not, y'all make sure y'all go and download that Banged Out Radio Show app and keep continuing to support the platform and look forward to all the new shows and content.
Later.
Wasn't that fun?
Благай слави моих братьев, благай слави наши руки. Мы в поисках больших денег, мы в деле круглые сутки. Благай слави
Banged Out Radio Show, man, they everywhere.
Благай слави